Hello, and welcome back to another episode. This morning you join me, indeed you join us, actually. The dog is hiding underneath the blanket there trying to get some sleep. Uh, because last night I had a terrible night's sleep. I developed a migraine in the evening and simply couldn't get to sleep until like 4 o'clock this morning. So maybe I've had 2.5 hours of sleep, possibly. It was terrible. It began yesterday evening as we were playing Pandemic Legacy. We're into season 2 now, very much enjoying it. But the light and the noise started just to overwhelm me, and before I knew it, I was sort of on the floor underneath the table, resting my forehead against the cold metal of the leg, just like oh my goodness. And when it came to my turn in the game, I just sort of popped my hand up above the table and just give some directions like a puppet or something. Yes, I moved that to there, and here's this card, and blah blah blah. It was terrible. And then we got home. I took some medicine, some cocodamol to try and deal with it, but it just got worse and worse. And my lovely wife was amazing, very very patient all night, but I was restless. And this poor animal, he was aware of it as well. So this morning I was planning on making a video about Superman City, the Micro Machines playset, and I will still do that at some point in that video, because it's my favourite Micro Machines toy. It's not my favourite Micro Machines thing. I think I still prefer, or rather, I still have such a soft spot for the computer games when it comes to Micro Machines and racing, for example, on the Mega Drive. Also, actually, incidentally, hang on, where is it? Yeah, this. I haven't talked about this, but I got this a little while ago, and it's such a disappointment. Micro Machines World Series. Terrible. Truly terrible. And the thing is, it's got the music, it's got some characters that are very familiar, but the controls are utterly awful. They're completely terrible. Really, really bad controls. Overly sensitive. It's hard to race in this thing. Plus, it's an online. Huge portions of the game essentially have to be online, so you have to, it's awful. And Codemasters, you let me down. Anyway, Superman City was the thing I was going to talk about this morning, and lots of close-ups of the city I wanted to do, and sort of basically give you a little tour of the city. And I will do that, but just not today. Instead, I just want to quickly talk to you about a couple of things we've been watching recently, because I think they're worthwhile mentioning. If I hadn't already mentioned this, I'd be amazed, but SpiderMan Into the SpiderVerse, brilliant film. We didn't go to see it in the cinema. I think we were just busy, unfortunately. But when I saw the reviews and when I saw that this was out, available in the shops, I simply had to get the Blu-ray, because this is art. And on top of that, it is art that's a Spider-Man, well, sort of Spider-Man fan fiction in the best way, in my humble opinion. The way that they mash together the story of Miles Morales, various Peter Parkers, Gwen Stacy, Spider-Ham, Spider-Man Noir, and Penny. It's like a Spider-Man robot from the future, with their various animation styles. You've got anime, you've got noir, you've got incompatible frame rates, all this kind of thing. It's a work of genius, and it makes me wonder what the was it Lord and Miller, the directors of this, they were going to do Solo, a Star Wars story. It makes me wonder what that Solo movie would have been like, actually. But it's a great film. If you haven't seen it, definitely give it a go. I'm sure you have, though. Surely, I mean, it's fantastic. Also, I think they do Miles Morales justice here. He's not an add-on to Peter Parker's story, as he so often is in other media, or he's often, or in computer games, for example, he's referenced as something that happens to Peter as opposed to his own adventure. So yeah, really good. We've also recently been watching and rewatching. We've had it for a while, but we love it. From Up on Poppy Hill, Studio Ghibli. This is a film I definitely want to do a video about in its own right. So a bit like Superman City, I'll be returning to this. But I love the themes in this movie. I love how... actually, I was talking to an archaeology friend about this recently. And I love how this movie gives you an insight into what it was like to be Japanese in 1964. The fact that you're only a couple of decades out from the Second World War. The Korean War is very fresh in people's minds, and you have a country that's in 1964 is hosting the Olympics, so that they're consciously trying to forge a new future, a bright new dawn for themselves. But at the same time, you have these kids, these two in particular, but also all their friends at a school, who want to hold on to a vestige of the past, this thing from the colonial era called the Latin Quarter. And it's a charming, beautifully drawn movie, of course it is. It's Studio Ghibli. And thematically, it is very solid and very interesting. And we keep on... when I first heard about this, I wasn't sure if this would make it into my top list of Ghibli movies, but it has. It's very, very good and well worth a watch. So, from up on Poppy Hill, I will return to this in a future video. It deserves a little essay, as it were, on its own. In addition to that, Studio Ghibli-wise, we recently got hold of, a couple of weeks ago, Porco Rosso. This is one that if I'm absolutely honest, I kept on looking at this whenever I saw it in the shops, particularly in CEX, second hand. And because Ghibli movies keep their price, don't they? They're often 8 to 12 to 15 pounds or something. I wasn't sure if a pig flying an aeroplane was for me, but of course I should have trusted the Studio Ghibli label, because it is brilliant. It's a very good film. It has elements of 1930s serials and gangster movies in it. The English dub with Michael Keaton as Porco Rosso is, I think, very good. And there's also some interesting questions about PTSD, survivor's guilt. Has Porco cursed himself to be the pig? Does he see himself as a pig? So on and so forth. It's a very good movie from Studio Ghibli. At some point I might have to do a video about this as well. Heck, maybe one day I'll do a video about all the Ghibli movies. I'll have a video for each of them. I also recently got hold of this. It's a Hawkins police badge, Hawkins, Indiana keyring, just like a little rubber badge. Obviously a Stranger Things reference. And I quite like it. I got my lovely wife. I got her the arcade sign as a key ring, because basically we've been looking for key rings for keys for the house, and I figured Hawkins Police. Yeah, why not? Mornings are for coffee and contemplation, and this morning for not letting your head split open, recovering from a migraine. And finally, we. A couple of days ago, over the weekend, we decided that we had to dive in and get hold of Layton's Mystery Journey, a Nintendo Switch port of a 3DS game, I think. Quite a good port, actually. And brilliant. It is. We're both fans, me and my lovely wife. We're both fans of Professor Layton. We've been playing Professor Layton on DS and 3DS. When I had a 3DS together, and this one, the ability to play it on the TV is excellent. It's also the deluxe edition. It comes with 40 extra puzzles and costumes and things, and also actually my wife loves the character of Catrielle Layton, Professor Layton's daughter, because she's very Layton-esque. She's good at puzzles. The character is, that is. Well, also so is my wife. She's good at puzzles. Especially logic puzzles, actually, she's very good. But also, Catrielle has a very hearty and healthy sense of self, and also, crucially, an appetite. She's constantly going, are those cakes? Lovely. Which is very charming. So, there you go. Some lovely things that we've been up to in the past couple of weeks, and we've been watching. Something actually that I'm looking forward to watching. I probably won't watch today though, because again, I'm feeling a bit delicate. Is Train to Busan. I put this on Instagram actually a little while ago. It's a film that I've heard good things about, and I want to give it. I want to give this its. I want to be in the right frame of mind to watch it when I first watch it, as it were. Give it its dues when I first watch this thing. So I won't watch it today, but I recently picked that up as well. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go and look after myself after I've uploaded this. I think I'll have a nice breakfast and then possibly go and play on the Switch in a dark room. I think upstairs. Yeah. As ever, until next time, do take care. Just as I'm going to take care of myself. Bye bye.